Picture this: you've worked your whole life, paid off your home, and finally retired in peace. But now, a new law in 2026 could turn everything upside down, and most senior homeowners have no idea it's coming. Welcome to Centrelink Brief, Australia's trusted source for the latest updates on pensions, payments, and government policy that directly affects your retirement. Today we're covering one of the most talked about and alarming developments of 2026, a major shift in how the Australian government is treating the family home when it comes to the age pension. If you're a homeowner over 67, or you're planning your retirement in the next few years, this video could be the most important thing you watch all year. Stay with us until the end, because what we're about to reveal may completely change how you think about your pension eligibility. For decades, the family home has been fully exempt from the age pension assets test. That meant no matter how valuable your property was, whether it was a modest unit in regional Victoria or a freestanding house in suburban Sydney, the government did not count it against you when calculating your pension entitlements. It was the golden rule of Australian retirement planning. Your home was your sanctuary, and Centrelink kept its hands off it. But in 2026, that long-standing exemption is under serious threat. The federal government, under pressure to address the growing cost of the age pension and the widening gap between homeowners and renters in the retirement system, has been quietly reviewing the assets test framework. And what's emerging from that review is sending shockwaves through the retirement community. So what exactly is changing? The core proposal, and in some cases, the actual regulatory shift, involves introducing a partial asset count on high-value properties. Under the new framework being discussed and in some areas implemented, if the value of your primary residence exceeds a certain threshold, the excess value above that threshold will now be counted as part of your assessable assets. The threshold being proposed sits around $750,000 for single homeowners and approximately $1.1 million for couples, figures that, in cities like Sydney, Melbourne, and Brisbane, now apply to a huge number of ordinary retirees. Let's put that into real numbers so you can understand exactly what this means. Say you're a single pensioner and your home in Melbourne is currently valued at $1.2 million. Under the new law, the value above $750,000, that's $450,000, may now be treated as an assessable asset. Depending on your other assets and income, this could reduce your pension payment significantly, or in some cases, cut you off from the pension entirely. And here is where the shock really sets in. Many Australians who have been receiving the full age pension, people who genuinely live modestly and have no other significant wealth, could suddenly find themselves classified as over the asset threshold simply because property prices in their suburb have risen dramatically over the past decade. They didn't get richer in any practical sense. They can't eat their house. They can't pay their electricity bill with their suburb's median property value. But under this new framework, Centrelink could treat them as if they can. It's important to understand how the Centrelink assets test works in this context. Currently, for a single homeowner, the full pension cuts out at around $631,000 in assets, excluding the home. The part pension cuts out at roughly $1,003,000. Add a newly assessable portion of home equity into the calculation, and tens of thousands of retirees could find themselves pushed into that reduction zone or above it overnight with no change to their actual lifestyle or spending capacity. The government's stated justification is one of equity. The argument is that wealthy homeowners are benefiting from a generous pension system that was designed for people with genuinely limited means. There is also a long-term fiscal argument. The age pension costs Australia billions each year, and as the population ages, that bill is only going to grow. Including high-value homes in the assets test, the government argues, is a fairer way to direct payments to those who truly need them. But critics, including major financial planning associations, senior advocacy groups, and opposition politicians, are pushing back hard. They argue that most retirees cannot simply sell their home to fund their retirement. There are enormous emotional, social, and practical barriers to downsizing. In many cases, the family home is the only place a senior can afford to live in their area. Selling means uprooting communities, leaving behind family support networks, and facing a rental market that is increasingly hostile and unaffordable for older Australians. There are also serious concerns about implementation. Property valuations fluctuate. A home that crosses the threshold one year may fall below it the next. This creates enormous uncertainty for pensioners trying to plan their finances. And the administrative burden on Centrelink to track and reassess home values regularly would be significant. So what should you do if you're concerned about how this affects you personally? First, do not wait to act. If you're approaching pension age or already receiving the pension, now is the time to get a clear picture of your assets, including the current estimated value of your home. Second, speak to a financial advisor who specializes in retirement and Centrelink planning. The rules around the assets test are complex, and getting the right advice early could make a significant difference to your entitlements. Third, check the Centrelink website and Services Australia portal regularly for updated information as this policy develops. Thresholds and implementation dates may still change before final legislation is passed. You should also look into the Home Equity Access Scheme, a government-run program that allows eligible older Australians to access some of the equity in their home as a loan, without having to sell. This could be an important safety net for those who find their pension reduced under the new rules but don't want to or cannot sell their property. The bottom line is this: the 2026 pension changes represent the most significant shake-up to retirement planning for Australian homeowners in a generation. Whether you agree with the policy or not, the impact is real and the stakes are high. Staying informed is not optional, it is essential. Thank you for watching Centrelink Brief, where we break down the policies, the numbers, and the real-world impact so you can protect your retirement. If you found this video helpful, please hit like and subscribe so you never miss an important update. And drop a comment below: are you a homeowner worried about how this could affect your pension? We read every comment and we want to hear from you. Until next time, take care of yourself and we'll see you in the next video.